Thanks for staying with Newsnight. The Springs couple accused of keeping their 5 children captive in their home have been found guilty of various charges. They were on trial for torturing and sexually abusing their children in what was dubbed the House of Horrors. Now tracing the story is our reporter Mia Spies. She joins us. Mia, I remember the first time that the story hit headlines. It certainly sounded like some kind of horror out of a movie, really, and we've made significant progress since then. So tell us what happened in court today.
Well, Cathy, as you mentioned, the man now widely known as the Springs Monster and his now ex-wife faced more than 20 charges. So today was Judgment Day in the High Court in Pretoria, and the father of 5, was today found guilty of rape, attempted murder, child abuse, and that's just some of the charges that he was found guilty of today. So there was 22 in total, and the only one that he was found not guilty to was possession and manufacturing of explosives. But all those other shocking charges, child abuse, rape, all guilty.
During the trial, how did he try and justify what had been taking place in that house for all these years?
So, Cathy, throughout the trial, he was very, very confident, very cool. He sat there and he almost looked at the gallery the whole time, and he kept on looking at his now ex-wife. So we spoke to her earlier this week. She claimed she was also a victim of him. They were married for more than 15 years. So she said she couldn't stand up against him, and he was very intimidating. So she was found guilty on charges of child neglect and drug possession, and also defeating the ends of justice. So she said she couldn't do anything, her hands were tied, and when he assaulted the children and she tried to stand up against him, he also assaulted her. So that's that's what she said, and that's also why she's out on bail at the moment.
How much of that reasoning, and I suppose the fact that she's out on bail perhaps somewhat answers that question, but how much of her story did the court actually buy?
So basically what they call it, Cathy, is battered woman syndrome. And that's what they said why she didn't stand up against him over all these years, how she was abused by him. And also when the judge made his judgment today, he also said that over these years, there is something like battered woman syndrome, and that she was also a victim over the years. He was extremely controlling. There was, I think, 37 cameras in the house and in the garden watching their every move. And some of the children who also testified said how he beat the mother up in front of them, or that this was just a very abusive house, and it was mostly at his hands.
All right, let's talk about what happens from here on. I imagine you await sentencing proceedings, but how are the lawyers feeling about all this?
So sentencing proceedings starts in October, and like I mentioned, the mom is out on bail at the moment, and the father is still in custody up until then. The mother said she's happy with what happened today with the verdict, and they are positive about the sentencing proceeding that will happen in October. So they're very happy about what happened, and she is out on bail up until then. She's not allowed to have any contact with the children. What we found out today is that one of the victims was in court, so it was extremely sensitive, especially getting all those details about these gruesome acts, again, knowing that one of the victims sat in the courtroom today. So, very sensitive. The mom can't have any contact with her children at the moment, and she basically just said she wants October to come. Something can happen that she could possibly be in contact with her children again.
All right, I want us to talk more about the children in a moment, but let's perhaps listen to Henry Prinsloo. He's the lawyer now for the accused number 2 in this matter.
We are satisfied with the court's judgment. I think it was a good judgment, well-balanced judgment. And as the court informed you, the matter is now postponed till the beginning of October for sentencing.
Just tell us, what was the judgment for your client?
You mean what count she was convicted?
Yes,
or
what count she was convicted?
She was convicted of negligence, neglecting the children, and she was convicted of defeating the ends of justice, and she was convicted of possession of drugs or the use of it.
And Advocate, do you think that she will serve jail time for this?
That's for the court to decide, not for me.
But are you going to challenge the conviction?
Well, we'll have to get instructions, but at this stage we don't think so.
And of course, Henry Prinsloo, they represents the mom in this matter. Mia telling us shortly that she has not been allowed to see her kids and contact with them has been restricted. Whose care are they under now?
At this stage, Cathy, we're only allowed to say that they are at a safe place at the moment. 4 of the children are still minors, so no detail about them. But what we know are they're doing well and they are safe.
All right. Well, let's leave it there then for tonight. Mia